When Rihanna walks in, it's hard not to know.
Hell yeah.
Just all the baddies, bro.
All right, folks. We know NBA players are masters of the court, and their athletic skills are insane. But ever wondered what happens when they meet people who can make even them feel like fans? From unexpected moments to some unforgettable stories, it's about to get real as we dive into the world of NBA players encountering baddies who stop them in their tracks. Heart rates rise, the game takes a backseat, and sometimes they even shoot their shot off the court. So let's get into it, starting with none other than the Slim Reaper himself, Kevin Durant.
Are you ever distracted by people in the stands?
I wouldn't say distracted, but I do acknowledge them sometimes. Baddies in the stands, for sure. There's celebs around the floor, you definitely want to see who they is. When Rihanna walks in, it's hard not to know.
Hell yeah.
Just all the baddies, bro.
Kevin Durant is known as a powerhouse on the court, sinking threes and dominating the paint with ease. But off the court, well, let's just say he's got a softer side. There's a story that becomes something of a legend, and it shows just how human even the mightiest players can be. Picture this. KD, in all his towering, focused glory, notices a baddie in the crowd. Now, we're talking about Kevin Durant here, a guy who's seen it all. But this time, nope. It's love at first sight. And in a move that would make anyone do a double take, Durant, in the heat of the moment, decides to go in for the classic shoot your shot maneuver. That's right, he straight up planted a smooch on her. For someone who's usually so composed, KD couldn't help but be swept up in the moment. It was a bold move from a guy who's usually dropping buckets, not kisses. And let's be real, if Kevin Durant, one of the most competitive players in the game, can go soft for a second, it shows that these players are just as vulnerable to a little bit of love. Next up, Luka Doncic. Known for his quick hands, dazzling footwork, and those game-winning shots, Luka's talent often speaks for itself. But there was a moment when he decided his words should do the talking instead, specifically with the referee.
Seventh in the league in scoring at just over 28 points a game, and he's already over halfway.
Yep. In one game, Luka broke out a pickup line mid-match. Imagine him looking at the ref, saying something cheesy with a sly grin. It was the kind of line that makes you wonder if he practiced it a few times in front of the mirror. Now, here's the twist. Luka's got a girlfriend, folks. So while the fans got a kick out of his confidence, you have to wonder how that went down later. Luka. If only his on-court decision-making was as sharp when it comes to flirting. It was one of those cases where his charm might have gotten him in just a little bit of trouble. A classic case of caught in the act, and you can bet he'll think twice before breaking out another line at a game. Now, let's rewind to January 16, 2023 for a Lakers versus Rockets matchup that turned into something special. LeBron James, in pursuit of his all-time scoring record, was already locked in. But as if the pressure wasn't enough, a stunning woman seated courtside seemed to catch his eye. With a record within reach and someone captivating just a few feet away, LeBron kicked things into overdrive. This wasn't just a regular performance. LeBron went on a scoring rampage, dropping 11 points back-to-back. It was like the presence of that special fan ignited a whole new level in him. In a mix of fierce dedication and a little extra motivation, he put on a clinic, leaving the crowd speechless and proving, once again, why he's called the King.
LeBron will try a three. Yes, sir! Here's LeBron. Got it!
Night and real nice words about being in a great situation if you're in the...
A little bit of a lane. Attacks Sengun and throws it at James. In rhythm. Yes! For LeBron.
But let's not get it twisted. LeBron's heart ultimately belongs to his family. Despite the pull of the moment, he's got his priorities straight. This was just a glimpse of the power of inspiration that a little extra attention can bring. And now we're jumping back to a bit of a love triangle, this one involving Jordan Clarkson and Ben Simmons. You see, in 2018, Ben Simmons was dating Kendall Jenner, making headlines as part of the famous Kardashian clan. But little did he know that another NBA star, Jordan Clarkson, was on the scene. Clarkson, known for his effortless charm, ended up being the one to win Kendall's attention. It was like an NBA game where both players kept upping the ante. Simmons made the first move, but Clarkson knew how to close it out. With this one, the court wasn't the only place where competition was fierce.
As is Kendall Jenner.
Now for Cleveland, number 26, Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver. One-time Sixer on the floor for the first time. Ben whizzing down the floor, laying in two. And the Sixers, Simmons stepping in. Sixers look for the lead. Ben whizzing down the floor, laying in two. And the Sixers have their first.
Doncic, that says a lot.
Gorgeous move.
Hats off to Clarkson for showing he knows how to handle not just the game, but some off-court rivalry too. As for Simmons, well, he might need to step up his defensive game, in basketball and in love.
Honey, I see you looking at me. I'm ready to go with you with me.
I promise I ain't gonna hold out, nigga. I'm gonna give it all to you, baby.
Fast forward to a more recent moment when Brooklyn Nets rising star Cam Thomas crossed paths with someone who made him completely lose his cool. We're talking about Eileen Gu, the Olympic gold medalist who's made waves with her athleticism and charm. During a matchup between the Nets and the Wizards, Cam was locked in and giving it his all until he'd noticed Eileen in the crowd. The real kicker? After the game, during an interview, Cam was asked about his performance and he couldn't even get his words out. Completely tongue-tied, he was visibly flustered, his mind clearly elsewhere. It's one thing to shine on court, but it's another to keep your composure when you're smitten. And for Cam, that day, Eileen was the star. It was a candid, priceless moment that reminded everyone of the power a crush can have, even on an NBA player.
Not the only 11 in the house tonight, Trey Young, but we have 11 from Stranger Things. All of you at home, guys, I won't lie, I am fangirling right now, getting to say hello to Millie Bobby Brown, who is taking in your first game here in Atlanta as you continue to film. But girl, you've seen some windmill dunks right in front of you. You have guys almost landing in your lap here. What have you thought about this experience so far?
This is amazing. It's my first basketball game ever, so I'm really excited to be here, especially in Atlanta. This is my hometown, so I'm really grateful.
Now let's talk about Trey Young, who's known for his finesse and fearless shooting. But during one standout game, something other than his stat line was making headlines. He'd just dropped 34 points, racked up 10 assists, and swiped 2 steals. Yet his attention wasn't solely on the scoreboard. It was on Millie Bobby Brown, who happened to be there. The way things aligned that night was like a scene out of a rom-com. Trey's game was already on fire, but with Millie there, he seemed even more motivated. There was a certain glow, a hint of something more. After all, it's not every day you get to impress a superstar with your A game.
Honey, see you looking at me. I'm ready to go with you with me.
I promise I ain't gonna hold out, nigga. I'm gonna give it all to you, baby. That's what I'm doing.
And last, but definitely not least, let's talk about Emanuel Quickley, who faced a bit of a conundrum. Millie Bobby Brown or Ice Spice? That's a tough choice. But when Ice Spice showed up, it was clear where his heart lay. In a game where he was playing with serious intensity, Quickley took things up a notch, possibly with her in mind. Each shot seemed to say, hey, look what I can do. Quickley's performance wasn't just for the highlight reels. It was an impressive feat inspired by his courtside crush. When you know someone you admire is watching, sometimes the stakes feel just a little bit higher. And that night, Quickley wasn't just chasing points. He was making a lasting impression on Ice Spice. From Durant's daring kiss to Quickley's Ice Spice motivation, these stories show a side of NBA players we don't usually see. The one where they're not just dominating the game, but being completely captivated by the people around them. So next time you're watching, keep an eye on the crowd. You never know who might be inspiring that extra shot, the bonus point, or even a bit of courtside romance. And if you're enjoying the stories, don't forget to subscribe for more courtside content, where we bring you all the fun behind-the-scenes stories from the world of basketball.